We move on first to Spain. Benidorm Fest, the second edition, closed this weekend, and we have our winner. It is Blanca Paloma with EAEA. So that was Blanca Paloma with EAEA. She is from Elche, Spain, and many fans will know she also took part in last year's Benidorm Fest, finishing in 5th place. This year, she went all the way and won the contest, and she will be going to Liverpool in the grand final, automatically qualified. So I'll be honest, and this is a breaking the fourth wall moment. It says on my notes, discuss the song. I think to fully encapsulate what EAEA is, we're going to have to do a lot more than just a song, aren't we, guys?
I think that's a fair point. Me going into it, I wasn't actually a big fan of the song. I didn't really connect with it, but the minute I saw the stage show, the live vocal, it was wow, phenomenal. And yeah, deserving winner in my eyes. I thought it was a fantastic performance. And yeah, it really connected with me the minute I saw it live.
Yeah, I would agree. I think studio-wise, I liked this. I thought it was interesting and different. It wasn't my favorite of the selection, but I would describe this as a feast, both visually and sonically, like on the eyes and on the ears. It was really, really impressive. It got almost 12s across the board from the jury, which I think is right. I think as a juror, I don't know how you could mark this down, and an overwhelming public vote winner as well. So it is fantastic this year also that the Spanish are really behind her, because we know ultimately the Spanish were extremely behind Chanel and Slow-Mo, but they weren't initially after Benidorm Fest last year. It took some Spanish people longer to come around to it. So it's great that it's a unanimous winner, and I think totally deserved. And I think also, I'd just like to say, I think Benidorm Fest is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a credit to the Spanish and RTVA. They've done an amazing job. And I hope it just goes strength to strength year after year and that they continue it. It's clearly working. So well done to the Spanish.
It is kind of ridiculous how this is only the second edition of Benidorm Fest, and it's already such a massive national final. It's a lot of people find it their favorite national final. I can understand why. It is great to see the Spanish fans all unanimously behind Blanca Paloma. I will add the asterisk for now. They are inclined to a few mood swings here and there, but hopefully they will stick with this one. Look, similar to Conor, I didn't like this song at all. And in some ways, I still don't. I'm never going to add this to my Spotify playlist. If this was just a ranking of studio songs, this would be low down. But in my head, when I watch the performance, my thoughts on the studio track are completely irrelevant. Like, it doesn't matter at all. The visuals are so stunning. The vocals are ridiculous. Let's be honest, a national final where vocals were sometimes shaky for various artists, Blanca stood out head and shoulders above the rest. The backing singers really added to the performance, and this is definitely the most unique thing Spain have ever sent, and it's fantastic that we're going to get this style at Eurovision. And I think also what's great about the winner of Benidorm Fest, and it's going to add the variety on for many years to come, is a lot of people, and this isn't a discredit to these artists, a lot of people were trying to be the next Chanel. In my opinion, Blanca Paloma won by being Blanca Paloma. Like, you can't hop on trends. It's just the best song will win, the best staging will win. And yeah, I think what a great 2 years Spain are going to likely have, or hopefully have. Like, from a country that, I mean, we talk about the Spains, the Germany, the UKs. Let's not forget, Spain also struggled at Eurovision for a long time. A top 10 here or there they managed, but for the longest time they were down the bottom. They came off 0 points from the televote after Chanel, and they seem to be going from strength to strength, really. Overall, what were some of your other favourites from Benidorm Fest? Were there any other songs that you would have liked to have won potentially?
I love Carmento, but I wouldn't have said it's a winner. I just love the studio track. I love the bass in the back with the way it hits in the headphones when you listen to it. But like the staging for it was lovely, but it wasn't a winner. Yeah, I think Blanca Paloma was the one, for me, it was the clear winner after watching the performances. Yeah, like I think everyone did put on a stage show like well, but I think she was out of this world. So yeah, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, I think Agony was fantastic. Also, I really loved that stage show. It was like given hints of Siren Song, which we never got at Eurovision. So that was kind of exciting. He was amazing and he really surprised me, actually. He was the pure standout of semi-final 1 to me.
By a country mile.
Yeah. I thought semi-final 2 was far more competitive. I agree with you, Conor. Blanca far and away the standout, but I really enjoyed semi-final 2. I thought Noche Entera was a great track. I loved hearing the Spanish in the audience singing it back. I actually liked some of the songs that were left behind in semi-final 2. I thought Alfred Garcia was great. I loved his staging. It was very touching. Cedarland, the boy group, were great. I kind of got Lavenda vibes off it, so maybe that's why I liked it. Yeah, honestly, I loved a lot of these songs this year, particularly in studio. Blanca's song in studio would have been lower down for me, but as we've all said, you just couldn't deny the quality of Blanca live and that flamenco style. I think it's so cool to get that authenticity at Eurovision, and there's so many conversations we're all having as fans over the last few years around the importance of authenticity as an artist, and this is just Blanca. She's not trying to be anyone else. She's being herself, and she's bringing something to the Eurovision stage I don't think any other country other than Spain could bring, and that's really special.
Yeah, and I love it what, like with Benidorm last year and this year, is that it doesn't really come together. Listening to the studio songs, it doesn't come together until you see the live performances, because I felt this year it was really hard to connect with the Benidorm Fest songs, but until I saw them live, they were all brilliant. And I agree, semi-final 2 was miles ahead of semi-final 1. I think, put half those songs in, the ones that didn't qualify in semi-final 1,
it would have been a stronger final.
Would have been a stronger final.
Yeah, I think this is almost the second year where a song that not a lot of people had high up or was like mid-table in their ranking has now been completely elevated due to staging. Like, I from this point on, I'm not going to even bother looking at Benidorm Fest odds, because it doesn't matter until it actually comes to the show. For me personally, I think Agony would have been my winner by the end. I loved his staging. I thought it was fantastic. I am partly saying that because in the last episode, I predicted Agony to win, and I was so close. Like, everyone was saying Fossa Nocta or Vico, and I stuck with my guns on Agony. And but Blanca Paloma, I think many other years Agony would have won. In my opinion, Blanca Paloma's staging was just out of this world.
I think Agony, the only issue I would have had with it was that I was still getting a Chanel wannabe-ish. Do you know what I mean? There was stuff that Chanel was doing last year. The dance break in the chorus. I just felt that maybe Agony for next year would have been a nice, different
change of pace.
Change of pace, yeah. So I think if this was like 2024, I would have said Agony definitely. But I think coming after Chanel, they needed to go with something completely different to really showcase Benidorm Fest for what it is, instead of just trying to repeat what was successful.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, bit of diversity can go a long way, especially when you've got an act so successful as Chanel. There'll always be those Euro fans that complain, "Oh, this is just a copy," and whether it does better or not is always up for debate. Speaking of how well this will do, obviously already qualified for the final. Don't know running order. Many other songs that will take part. Still 30 left, of course. But I would say that this is definitely a risk. This song from Blanca Paloma. How do you see it paying off?
It's very early.
Yeah.
It's very, very early. But I don't see this being at the bottom of the final.
No.
I really don't. Because it's divisive. And divisiveness never hurts you. Being safe is what hurts you. Where people don't feel compelled to vote for you. And I think this will probably do particularly well in the Latin areas of Europe, in the Mediterranean section of Europe. I think Italy will give this love. Portugal will definitely give this love.
Mm-hmm.
France, maybe some actually Balkan countries also. I could see maybe Albania going for this. I think this could, get low. Like, we gave our jury 12 points to Spain from Ireland last year. I don't see an Irish jury putting this at the top. I don't see them snubbing it either by any means. I think the Western countries, you know, we're a bit potatoey, we're a bit more bland when it comes to music at times. We don't have the spice or the flavors. So I can see this doing pretty well, but I don't know if it would win Eurovision.
No, I agree. And as well, the whole rest of the world vote as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, this could easily get 12 from them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think it will do well.
Yeah.
It will do well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from my perspective, I'm not sure. Yeah, Western countries, I'm not sure song-wise will be attracted to this. However, I do think this staging is universal regardless of your music taste. In some ways, the song is almost like, I mean, as a Brit from the Western side, the song is almost secondary to me. It's like, that's the background to this staging.
Yeah.
Like, if you like the song, that's a bonus. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Spain. As we mentioned, they are already in the final, so won't have to worry about semi-finals, anything like that.